Bonus points to viewers who had "buried by scrap metal" on their villain's demise bingo card. Much of Hellbound was shot on the waterfront of Terminal Island, situated between the ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach. Great use was made of the streetcar cemetery adjacent to the Southern Pacific Rail Yard, where corpses of the once thriving Pacific Railway service were stacked, awaiting scrapping. The red cars, as they were known, once formed a vast trolley system that spanned most of the greater LA area. The conspiracy to kill off that system, purportedly engineered by freeway developers and car manufacturers, was the plot of 1988's Who Framed Roger Rabbit. We have the makers of Hellbound to thank for a haunting visual record of that bit of LA history. Earlier this year, as part of the Noir series I hosted with Ben Mankiewicz, we talked about how the 1985 film To Live and Die in LA showed a particularly unglamorous view of Los Angeles. Well, 28 years earlier, Hellbound used many of the same locations, including the Vincent Thomas Bridge that connects San Pedro to Terminal Island. Speaking of formidable structures, the role of Paula was played by San Francisco-born June Blair in her first major film role. The producers definitely knew what they were doing in casting her. Blair had plenty of exposure as Playmate of the Month in the January 1957 issue of Playboy. Hellbound was a showcase for her, since she got to play it both sexy and sweet and do a surprising amount of acting with her feet. She gained additional notoriety as the inspiration for the 1957 novelty song "Loony About Junie" by actor-singer Nino Tempo, to whom she was briefly engaged. Blair's movie career never really took off, but in 1961, she married David Nelson, making her part of America's favorite TV family. Now known as June Nelson, she was a regular on The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet up until the show's final season in 1966. Bet you didn't know that Ozzie and Harriet had a Playboy playmate in the family. Now, I don't know about you, but I thought Hellbound had at least one last twist in store, that Daddy, the blind dope dealer, would be revealed as Stuart Whitman, hidden behind those big black sunglasses. The part was actually played by Native American actor Del Bertie, who looked enough like Whitman to keep me suspicious of that too-good-to-be-true Eddie Mason character. I guess having every character dealing dope would have been a bit much for 1957. As for John Russell, he spent the rest of his career mostly working in television. His feature work was mostly in westerns, like the role of villainous rancher Nathan Burdett in 1959's Rio Bravo. His pal Clint Eastwood cast Russell in 3 films: The Outlaw Josie Wales, Honky Tonk Man, and Pale Rider. Like Russell, virtually all the talent associated with this picture gravitated to TV. Richard Landau spent more than 30 years writing for TV shows, everything from Steve McQueen's Wanted, Dead or Alive to The Rat Patrol to Ironside. Director William Hole and cinematographer Carl Guthrie both finished out their careers making loads of network television shows. Let us know your opinion of Hellbound on the Noir Alley Facebook page or Twitter feed. Was it awful trash or just really fun trash? Then come back next week when once again I'll be joined by divine Dana Delaney as we present another film featuring her favorite noir femme, Gloria Graham. It's The Glass Wall from 1953, and DD will explain why it's one of Gigi's best performances. Until then, keep your shoes on, unless, you're being congratulated. See you in the shadows.